clients. So I can get as many leads as I want, when I want. I can run whatever lead type I want. At the time, I could go to any state that I want where, we needed to travel. Now it's very different. I can buy in 10 states at once and dial all the different time zones. I can buy leads to dial at 5 a.m. my time on the East Coast, and I can buy leads in Hawaii if I want to keep dialing till 11 p.m. But I get to make that decision. And so for me, that was extremely exciting.
Hi, everybody. Grady Polson. Welcome to the America Agency. Hello, everybody. Grady Polson, the America Agency. So excited to have Nicolette McGannon on with us today. Recently married, but also recently reborn in the business and is just exploding. Introducing this every day, finding great people, helping them get up started, ready, rolling, and getting compensated, taking care of clients and families. Insurance is one of the most respected professions that we get to take part in. I thank God every day that I found this industry, and I know you do. I know so many people do, because I could still be serving tables at Kona Grill at the mall, and that would be a different world for my family right now. But thank goodness that someone reached out to me at some point, and someone reached out to you and said, hey, take a look at this insurance thing. We help families, we get paid. It's not easy, but it's worth it. And fast forward, here we are a few years later, and here you are, the business doing almost $500,000 a month issue paid volume, and it's just incredible. So first off, how are you doing today, Nicolette?
I'm good. Thank you guys for having me. I'm excited to be here. Super grateful.
Awesome. We are as well. So, let's, it's always important to give background and clarity, right? We've all came from somewhere. We've all overcome something. We've all had to make decisions. And I would love if you would, share your story on how you found insurance, what you were doing before, and kind of carry us forward to where we are today. Sitting in a beautiful new office, by the way.
Yes, I love it. You can't see the mountains on that side, but beautiful view. So I've been in insurance. I've had my license for 5 years in April. So just over 5 years now that I've been licensed. So if we go back in time, that was right at the beginning of COVID. I went to ASU, studied business. My whole dream was always to go into medical device sales or some kind of corporate sales, because I always knew I just wanted to do something where I could work extremely hard and make a ton of money. And I always just thought med sales was the top way to make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. So I graduated, I got a corporate job. I was doing the steps to get there, get the experience. And I did a corporate job for about a year. It was great. I got super bored really quick. I ended up quitting that job to travel the world for 3 months. And, do what everybody does when they graduate college and go, find yourself and figure life out. I had everything planned. And then a week before my flight was supposed to leave, the whole world shut down. And so I never left. But I had already quit my job. So I was like, well, what do I do now? And a friend of mine, actually, she was in the life insurance industry. She reached out to me. She said, well, you've always wanted to do sales. You would be great at this. You just take a test. It takes a couple weeks to get your license. And then we do everything remote. And I was like, okay, cool. She's like, you make commission. It's going to be great. You'll crush it. I'm like, all right, whatever. Didn't ask that many questions, got my license and started doing that. I actually started in the industry with a captive insurance company. So if anybody doesn't know the difference between captive and being a broker, captive means you work for the insurance company, essentially. So you sell their product only. You don't really have options outside of that. So I did that for about a year. I liked it, but eventually I just got to a point where I'm like, I don't feel like I have as much opportunity in that structure from the clients, but also from a commission standpoint too. Somebody else controlled my lead flow. I just didn't feel like I had as much ownership or control as I really had initially wanted. So I ended up after that, had a few people that had come over to FFL, saw what they were doing. They were crushing it and came over here. So I've been here for about 3 years now. And when I came over here, I honestly just was like, I'm going to just sell. I don't want to recruit. I don't want to build a business. I just want to sell life insurance. Don't bug me about it. And I did that for the first year. Everything we did in person at the time with clients. So, I mean, I know, Grady, you remember, but I think most people these days like have absolutely no clue what that was like.
Yeah.
um, it was tough. It was tough. I think it was definitely tougher as like a female too to have to do that. Anybody that's ever done door-to-door sales or like insurance, any kind of like in-person sales where you're going in people's homes, I think is difficult for anybody. I think it's 10 times harder even as a woman. So we did that, but I literally had to like give up my apartment, like move out, like go move to a different state, like live with family because I had no money and like there was no leads here at the time. Like you were refreshing the CRM every 30 seconds to get 2 or 3 leads at a time, and you'd buy them and then you'd refresh again and hope that you could get 2 more to get enough leads for a single dial day. And it was absolutely crazy. So it's changed a lot in the 3 years. I love how you said like I've kind of been like reborn in the business, and I honestly feel like I've been reborn in the business many times in the last 5 years.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, there's so many things you shared, but like right now in our CRM, I think we have 500,000 leads
Yeah.
nationwide, from brand new ones to levels of aged. But the beauty about aged is they're cheaper and they haven't bought yet because we scrub them against the carriers. And if they purchased insurance, we take them out. And that's just what it's like being partnered with like an Integrity, is they have all the clients and all the data, and they give them to the best producers, which is FFL. So we're grateful to be there. But so I loved all of that. And I'm sorry you didn't get to go to Bali and or wherever you were. That was you can go now, and you can probably stay at a nicer hotel. You won't have to stay at a hostel this time. That's a whole. There's silver linings to everything.
Yes.
So I always love digging in a minute about, because there's so many people that go, FFL has all this and all this and all this, but why don't I look at X, Y, or Z company? FFL doesn't have like a stadium, and FFL isn't like have commercials in the middle of the NBA finals. Why don't I go over with this company? And so just for like one is like, we give our money to our producers, which is part of that. But two, like people don't understand how good it is here. So just if you could give a little tiny bit more color behind like your captive experience to like coming here, and then, yes, you were used to run in person. The industry evolved now, right? We do 99.9% virtual. But what was it like being at a captive company?
It was very difficult. It was very tough. So the way it worked, like I said, you work for like one insurance company. So you have their product to sell, their product only. So that's what I was trained on. That's the only product I knew how to sell. It's the only thing I knew how to pitch. I just assumed it was the absolute greatest product in the entire world, that there was nothing else out there. And like what we had was the best, which from a sales training perspective is great. Like you should be that confident in what you're selling with your clients, but I didn't even know there was anything outside. And the way it worked is they would provide me with leads. So my commission percentage was probably, honestly, it was less than half of what it was when I started here. Yeah.
What was it when you started?
I want to say it was like 40%. I don't remember, like it had to be like 40%, but I'm like here, I mean, the starting is like 80. That's crazy. It's literally half. And they provided leads. So I, had somebody who would say, hey, here's your 30 leads for the week. This is your lead pack. This is what you're going to dial. And they were all like leads that had been recycled by a different agent. And we would swap lead packs like every 2 or 3 weeks. And you just sat there and you dialed the same 30 people for 5 hours a day, every single day, the same people. And I remember so many times just literally being in tears. Like, what do I do? I can't get, like, I don't know what to do. I can't get these people on the phone. I've called them, I've texted, like everything. And when you only have 30 leads that you're dialing for 4 weeks straight, like everything is working against you. And so I just remember like always having to beg for more leads and feeling like I had to break down to get to that point. And that's like where I ended up getting frustrated and being like, I can't do this anymore. And I, at the time, didn't even realize there were opportunities where you could get leads. I didn't know that was something that existed. So when I found this, that was something like I was so excited about, that I got to purchase leads. Like it was up to me. So I think I also like worked those leads like a lot differently. Like when I'm like, okay, I got to like buy this lead batch. Sure, I'm going to buy 30 leads to start. Okay. Like I'm hammering them. And like, when you've really worked those leads. So then it was up to me to say like, okay, I need to get a few more. like to keep going, or no, like, let me be honest with myself. Did I really dial in that hard, or, whatever, but it put it into my control instead of somebody else's control. And I always explain it when I'm talking to people, like, about the difference between the two is I see being a captive agent as more like having an employee mindset to the insurance company, but you still work only on commission most of the time. Like, you're not getting paid a salary most of the time. You're still making commission way lower, but somebody else is in control of everything you're doing. They're telling you, here's how many leads you can have. This is all you can do. You have one product, that's it. So you're limited. So I was like, well, if I'm going to make commission, and in any kind of sales, like, why would I not stack the deck in my favor and give myself more opportunity for me and also more opportunity for my clients, so I can get as many leads as I want when I want. I can run whatever lead type I want. At the time, I could go to any state that I want where we needed to travel. Now it's very different. I can buy in 10 states at once and dial all the different time zones. I can buy leads to dial at 5 a.m. my time on the East Coast, and I can buy leads in Hawaii if I want to keep dialing till 11 p.m. But I get to make that decision. And so for me, that was extremely exciting, again, because it's like I was somebody that was going to work extremely hard and put in that effort. Like, I wanted a system where I could plug that in and just like have more of an opportunity for success.
Yeah, it's so true. It shows the maturity which you have to be a business owner, right? From the ambition early on to get in medical device sales, there was some sort of, to earn hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, there's a level of accountability, maturity, of discipline that you've got to ascend to. And so for those listening, like, you might go, well, I've got to buy leads, right? Well, if you think of any business you pass as you drive to the office, or you go to the grocery store, or any business you pass is spending some amount of marketing dollars to create awareness that their business exists. That's how it works. Whether or not they lease out a very busy corner on a busy intersection, part of their marketing cost is foot traffic that will cross that busy intersection. They paid more for that access versus a business that's in the back corner, or a business that's just run online. Our marketing cost is purchasing leads. Now, you don't have to purchase leads. I've got an agent right now that is left solar, and he's a great guy, but he's not got the phones figured out yet. But he's like, Grady, I can knock 200 doors a day. I'm just going to go knock them and figure out if they're interested in buying life insurance. And he's made like 5-6 sales so far in his first 2 weeks, because he's just not got the phone figured out yet, but he's amazing on the doors. And so we don't care how you make your sales, as long as you're ethical and moral, taking care of your clients and putting them in the absolute best position possible. We've just figured out that the best way to create speed to sales and speed to issue is buying leads. And however you choose to come up with clients, by all means. So I loved your perspective and I feel like it was you or someone back at our old Mesa office would talk about time traveling, where you dial back into Hawaii. And I was like, this is a fantastic. Like, I love that concept.